What's up, gang? How's everybody doing? All right. What up, Sam? How you guys doing tonight? How are you guys doing tonight? What up, Robert? How you doing, bro? In a day? Oh, I thought you were saying that you're closing in on 10K in a day. I was like, damn, dog. That's the fucking goal. that, bro, I would have thrown you a party right now. Fucking beautiful. I haven't decided on a copy trader yet. I've been doing a lot of research, and the more research I do, the more shit that I keep finding out about different copy traders. So I'm gonna stick to one account for a little while until I really decide on the copy trader. Because like today, for example, the one that I wanted to use, my boy copy traded 20 accounts, and it only activated 2 of them, and it didn't copy trade the other 20. So he spent the whole day trading. I had no idea that it wasn't copy trading. Literally glitched. That's what my homie uses too. But then somebody else from our Discord showed me a different one that was better than Replicanto, but it was double the price. So right now I'm doing research on that one and trying to find other traders that actually use it besides him to see if they have any issues copy trading accounts. But yeah, I'm up today 150 on the PA. So if I would have copy traded all of my accounts, that would have been a $600 day. That's pretty fucking good. My boy was like, "Yeah, bro, $100, bro? That's not a lot of money." I'm like, "Bro, 100 each account, dog. Just chill, bro. Just give it time. Wait till I have 20 accounts." So we have areas of support here, right? And these are hourly levels of support. Yeah, bro. Exactly. Exactly. Um, who did I see? Honestly, I think you might only be able to do 20 per household, even if your business is in the which I wonder how that would work. Because I know you're only allowed 20, but if you have a separate business and you're in the same household, I don't think you're allowed more than a certain amount in a household. Research how much you're allowed in a certain household, because I've seen people that would use their wife's credentials and get banned. But those were Forex firms. Maybe futures is different. Yeah, I'm grinding this to pay out. So this is my trade Zella. So you guys can see my stats on this PA. These are my current stats. We're gonna change this to ticks because that's more important. With the way that it automatically uploads all my information, um, so before I didn't like it because let's say I wanted to see a trade. So let's say I took this trade right here, right? Um, oop. Let's say, I don't know, what's a good trade right here? This trade right here. Now that I can see on the chart here where I entered and where I exited, this is much, much better than beforehand, right? Where I wasn't able to see this. So now I know that I caught 40 pips. I know my entry is right here. The trade ran for 40 pips, so I caught 40 right here. And it hit my full TP. I also took this setup here, which was the previous trade. I wonder if that's the same one. Yep, same one. The previous setup. So then this would tell me, hey, did my trade play out? Was that full TP good or not? No, where was it at? Was it this one? Look, I took a buy here, went into drawdown, took another buy here, closed the position up here in profit. Did the position keep going? Yes. Where I closed was actually right here, where one position was in profit, the other one was at a loss. How much further did it keep going? It actually went, my original position played out for 90 pips. So that means that even with two pineapples, my original position still played out. I now have data saying I can hold longer on my trades because even though I took a pineapple, my first trade still played out. And then I go back even further. So let's go back to the next trade. This one was a break-even trade. Oh, let's see. This one was a break-even trade right here. Did I go break-even for no fucking reason? Price drove. I went break even, it worked me out break even, and then it kept driving. Why did I go break even here? Maybe I don't need to be going break even after 7 or 8 pips. So look at so if I would have left a runner on the win that I took after, this would have made me $800 in a day off of a runner. $800 off of a runner in 1 minute. So these are my stats for the beginning of the PA. Hold on, I gotta open my door. What? Holy crap. My trade Zella score is 99. One thing that I've been looking into is my drawdown. I haven't found where to look at my drawdown. It says there's no data for... I don't have drawdown days. I want to know how much drawdown I went in per trade. That's what I want to see. I want to see how much drawdown on average that I take across these 30 trades. And then that gives me a more refined target for my stop loss, right? Because if on average 25 trades in a row, I went into max drawdown of let's say 70 pips, I know that if I have like a 100 pip stop loss within 30 trades, the chances of that of my stops getting hit at 100, it's 1 in 30 trades. So what are the chances of that stop loss getting hit? So I can easily accumulate over 100 pips across 30 trades. So that's the whole idea of having a journal and going back to your trades and seeing your history. So number one, you can see either you're closing early or you're closing right on time. You're managing risk too heavy or you're not managing risk enough, or is your stop loss too far or is your stop loss too early, right? The same thing that Don did the other day on stream where he was back testing and he realized that the majority of his stops were getting wicked out and price was continuing to drive. So he readjusted his stop loss to a more logical level instead of Just same thing that he did prior before, and like it looks like he probably fell victim to that RR mentality, and he was lowering his stops because of the high probability of his win rate. And then eventually, those trades that do go into deep drawdown were hitting those stops, getting wicked out, and then driving in his direction. So he noticed that um, through his back testing or through that simulation session. And you also notice that through your journaling. So the furthest drawdown that I had this week was 125 pips. Every other trade was less than 50 pips of draw or less than 60 pips of drawdown. That one trade that I was negative 120 something pips, I could have cut it at 75, taken the next pineapple entry where my initial entry was, maybe made back 30, 40, or 50 because that's how much I've been making on the Nasdaq lately, and then not have been in such drawdown or held such drawdown because I was going off levels. I can go based off of on average how much drawdown I normally take. And that would have been one loss across the last 30 trades, which still I would have been up. That would have been a 75 pip loss or 100, yeah, 75 pip loss. Would have maybe made back 20 or 30, would have been a 50 pip loss. It would have been nothing. I plugged in some top secret crypto stuff, so I had to change it. Nice. Nice. So our daily range is very tiny. It's a 50 pip daily range, right? But the way that we're coming up here, we're respecting this current support right here. We're starting to close above the most recent support, and now price is starting to drive up. We haven't really tapped this support down here. We've only really made minor support here on these highs. So we have broken into a new range. So we're in this support to these resistances up here. So we have broken into a new range, but we haven't bounced off the low of the range yet. So is price going to continue up, or is price going to come down, tap the low of the range, and then continue up, right? We could have a continuation up from here after bouncing out of this area and closing above, forming support above. So we could be using the most recent resistance and turning it into support. So maybe it won't go all the way down. If it really confirms this previous resistance as support, I would really like to confirm this level as the daily low. Market opened this candle here. We came down, we worked into the daily low, and then we rejected. We actually tapped it twice. So we're double topping and double bottom. So we have a double top and we have a double bottom here at the daily high and the daily low. So right now we're in a tricky situation. Right now the higher time frame SMAs are underneath, so that's good. That's good for buys. The 5-minute is still underneath and the 1-minute is starting to cross. So if we start to re-break the daily high here, we break out of this range, we can start looking for some entries, and we have like 23 pips until the prior day high. But you see how, looking at that data, I realized that my first trade played out. I went into a pineapple, and knowing that my first trade played out, if every time that I take a pineapple, my trade still plays out, that tells me that that pineapple is just an opportunity for double the profit, that I should hold the trade until both are in profit. So that's the kind of stats that I'm looking for in order to make that determination, right? I can't make that full determination just yet. But I have a lot of data and more data that I'm continuing to stack up that I'm going to be looking at continually every single day now. To have a fresh mind. Hey, did it work today? Did I close too early today? What happened? Did I close right on time? I really need to understand my closures and when I'm closing, not just seeing profit and saying, oh, I don't want to be an asshole and give back 20 pips. No, bro. 95% of my trades hit 30 pips. So why am I closing at 10? I'm not going to close at 10. I'm going to have a TP maybe now at 15 and push it 5 more pips. You need to be trading price action and probability. Probability is key. So if the probability of my trades playing out is high, then I know that I can hold my trades for longer because my analysis, the confluences that I'm using together, produce a larger than 10 pip move. The Nasdaq sells today were a good point. Look, right? Because if you just trade was it this trade here? No. Oh, my earlier trades are still here. It's because I haven't refreshed this chart. So I took an entry here on the break of this low and I caught 50 pips. This pullback was over 100 pips. See, on this one, this is where my TP was at the level to level, right? And this is why, like you said, option, trade price action. I know that my TP target based off the levels that I'm choosing are very, very accurate. So I had my TP set right here. Price this 1 minute broke this low right here. Instant dump. It dumped 99 pips. I caught 50 pips for my take profit, and then price instantly reversed. So this is what I'm looking at. Okay, cool. I have 100 pips here that I was in that my analysis gave me. So I can't be closing at 10 pips. I can't be closing at 20 pips. I got to have a target at 50 pips and take advantage of 50% of that move at least. My first entry here gave me 182 pips. So you see what I'm saying? Maybe the more I look into this, instead of taking 2 entries for 100 pips, I could have just had 1 entry and a runner. So this is what I'm looking at. The data that I'm looking at. See this pullback? This was a 255 pip pullback before the first pineapple opportunity. I'm not interested. I'm not trying to be in that drawdown. So let's see what it do here. Honestly, I think we're just pretty much going to be wait till we break out of this range. Just waiting till we break out of the range.
That nigga swore, bro.
Who?
That's the guy I worked out with, my manager that I worked out with today. Look at his wife. Oh fuck, you can't see her, but that's his wife. Whoa. She's swole.
How much do you make as a manager at your job?
He makes 15K. Plus bonus. Salary 15K. So he's coming out with like 11 and a half, 12. Because at that they're hitting 100 plus, so 30%.
I can just sell more air conditioners and make that. No, neither do I. I just have to sell more and sweat less.
No, bro. That's the mentality that we all have in any type of sales. Sweat more, make more. That's the only way. Only way. Sales.
No, bro. Whenever I sell a unit, bro, it's literally 15 minutes of not sweating.
What you gotta think about it. I'm not saying, bro. This is for chat to learn sales, bro. This is for chat to
learn sales, chat.
So it's not literally sweat. It's put that extra effort. It's put that extra in. Bro, you think that they're making 15K just sitting down? No, bro, they're holding as much as we are.
Yeah, I've been doing good. Danny's been giving me better appointments lately, and he's been doing a lot more of the stupid work.
That same way as car sales. If they walk into that showroom, they need something. It's a car, obviously, for me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Instead of me doing stupid ass maintenances where people aren't home and I can't sell shit, and he's not sending me to the maintenances anymore. He's sending me to the better calls where people need stuff.
Yeah. Obviously, if they're not there, you can't do much.
Now,
even if they're not there, brother, all it takes is they're not there. They can't see.
Just ask Javier how easy it is to sell an air conditioner. Somebody walked into his house. He has a 15-year-old air conditioner, right?
Oh, this guy.
Someone walked into his rental, yeah, and they told him, "Yeah, bro, this thing is too old. You're gonna need an $11,000 air conditioner." And then he calls me up immediately. He's like, yo, what the fuck's this guy saying? Luckily, he's got me. But the guy was like, nah, this is too old. It's rusted. It's disgusting. Da 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 da. You need a new one. 11,000 or 7,000, the cheap option. Bro, I get there, bro, and all I needed was a $300 repair. And now it's working. It's clean, and it's gonna give him maybe a couple more years of life before he's got to spend the money. Like, that's how easy it is to sell an air conditioning, but all you have to do is be noble and responsible because now I've gained a customer for life for doing the right thing.
All you gotta do is act like. All you gotta do in sales is put yourself in them shoes. Fuck, they have a hot fucking day for the next day. How do I make it better?
Yeah, some guy thought I was scamming him because it took 3 weeks for his part to get here. And I'm like, I can offer you temporary cooling because instead of you go into a hotel for a week, I can offer you temporary cooling. It'll cost you the night of one hotel. And he's like, oh no, now you're trying to scam me. You're lying that it's taken 3 weeks just so you can sell me the temporary cooling. All right, bro.
In that case, you say exactly what you just said. Okay, sir, I'm trying to help you. You want to go to pay your hotel? Then go ahead. The first thing they're gonna say, no, 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 because I know guys like you, rah 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 rah, and you're gonna say, sir, I'm telling you, I'm not charging more than 120. I don't know what it is, $125.
No,
$125.
I just called the manager of the building. The manager of the building is my boy, and I told him, hey, look, this guy is acting a little bit crazy. I need you to explain this to him and tell him this is normal, and then we can talk again. 2 minutes later, the owner calls me saying, all right, can you guys just get the job done, get whatever you need done. I trust Raphael. If this is normal, then I'm going to just shut my mouth and let you guys do your work.
I'll tell you what, bro.
And then he paid me
Sometimes,
650
actually,
bucks.
Most times, 95% of the time, the second the customer goes like that puts their wall up.
All right, but I got to start talking about trading. Hold on.
Sorry.
We just had an hourly closure. The hourly closed with kind of a top wick. We closed doji, so we're still pretty bullish here. We're driving up now without a bottom wick, right? The previous 30 has no top wick and has no, well, it does have a top wick, but a tiny one, and it barely has a bottom wick, right? So at this point in time, we're printing this barcode that we're getting right here. So we can possibly get these wicks up in and out of range. But until we get a higher time frame closure, I really can't take much. I can probably scalp a few pips out of this range, but I don't think these moves outside of the ranges are going to be pushing, man. Let's see. This 30 doesn't have a bottom, just the way that we're moving. On the lower time frame, we are forming higher highs and higher lows. And but let's say we do reject here. What do we have? Perfect double top here on our way down. So it's tough to get entries in these scenarios right now. Maybe if we just start pushing outside of the range, now that it's the Asian Open. Well, the Asian Open technically was 7. See how at 7 we just dump 100 pips? No, 40 pips only. Huh. I'm not happy with a 16 pip top wick. If we were to dump, we would pretty much respect the previous daily high. But if we break the previous daily high, two things. It could be a liquidity grab for a continuation down, or if it breaks the previous daily high, we will see a push further back, maybe 20, 30, 40, 50 pips before it does continue back down. I think that's what happened here. We broke the previous daily low by 60 pips, and then we retraced. So, but this is a 4-hour resistance. This is a new a range here, and we are at the daily high, and we do have the previous daily high here. Or no, this is the current daily high. So, let's see, man. And it's all about being noble and humble. And all of these characteristics also pay off in trading. When you're looking at the charts and you're like, oh, damn, I could have made $1,000. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. You take down your data and you mark it down. And now your plan says, All right, out of my last 30 trades, they've all ran 100 pips and I've been closing at 10. Something's got to give. I can't be closing at 10 when they're all running to 100. Something's got to change. And now you make a decision based off of facts. Not coulda, woulda, shoulda. So I'm gonna wait here for a breakout out of this. So just look. Let's pick a trade. Let's see one that I won a good amount on. MNQ has been my best trades. Where the hell's my entry at? Where the hell's my entry at? Oh, right here. Look at this sell that I took. That I caught 60 pips on. And it drove 169. If all of my trades are doing this, why am I only closing at 60 pips? What is the point of that? That tells me that I need to have a fucking runner. I had a rebreak of the low and I closed on this candle, which was this low right here. So I took the rebreak of the low here and I closed full TP right here on the push of this candle. So basically the way I calculate, it'll do ticks, right? And the number on the right is how many ticks. And basically, since I'm using two contracts, the amount of ticks is how much profit in dollars. So that would be $169 of profit. On gold, 169 pips would be $300 of profit because gold, on the minis or the micros, the price is more per contract here than these. You get more per pip here than you do here because these moves are larger. So here on this push down, I caught this was a full 78 pip push and I caught 50 on it, so I made $50. And then on the next rebreak of the low here, I caught 50 pips on the dot and it pushed for 112.
That's it. Damn, bro.
Huh. I could be looking for sells, right? But we're right at the daily high. We could play the range, and now that we've rejected this level, we could attempt a sell off the daily high, especially when this 15-minute flips bearish with these 30s the way that they are. Where would that 15 flip be? That 15 flip would be here. That would give us a target to fill this 30-minute for 25 pips. And we've whipped into that 4-hour resistance. What's this doing? We've already flipped bearish there, so I am going to have a sell stop on this 15 flip. But We're kind of playing the range here, so I'm not looking for a lot. It's like a 2-3 pip difference. How much is this push to here? That's 8 pips. That'll give me 4. We just can't respect these levels here. We have to break through them. What the hell? What the hell's going on with my line here? Damn, my whole computer's lagging. So, since we just had a 5-minute closure, the 5-minute closed. It's still the money printer here on the 5. Where's the 15 flip? The 15 already flipped here and didn't drive. I'm gonna delete this and I'm gonna wait. It could be the range and it could come right back down, but I'm gonna give it a few more minutes. I mean, I had my biggest day today ever. Remember the other day where I told you guys that I caught 90 pips, that was like my biggest day on the live account, not an evaluation. And then today, I just hit my biggest day at 150.
Your mentor doesn't hit 150.
I hit 150 at the gym.
Flexing.
I actually did some arms today.
I hit.
I did 2 sauna sessions too.
So Justin works out just repping, bro. So we hit.
That's what I do.
We start off warm up 135, rep, 185 rep, 225 rep, 245 rep, like 8, 275 rep, like 6. Your boy hit 305.
So he probably finished his fucking chest right then and there, and no more.
No. Oh,
He must be on a lot of juice.
he's on Anwar.
Could be doing, yeah. Of course you can do 40 sets.
He's 52. 52, bro.
Yeah, it depends on
Bro, he did the same weight I did, bro. And there was the flies machine.
Oh, I'm gonna have a cell stop.
That I told you, fly machine, bro. He hit more than me, about like 100 pounds, bro. Mind you, it was the first time I'd done the exercise, so I just couldn't. But 52 years old, bro, on Anavar, bro. Beast. You best believe, bro. I'm 52 and I look like him. I'm taking Anavar. No doubt. Or like an S4.
Will it push the last 2 minutes? of this 15, the last 1 minute of the 15. I'm going to delete this because if this closes in 30 seconds like this and the next candle comes down to create a bottom wick, that could activate us, drive down a few pips, and then flip bullish for the money printer the other way, right? And what's more probability, a rejection here or a flip bullish when you're bullish for the day and you're at the daily high? That's tough. It's very tough there, so I'm going to delete it. Because of the way that the 15 is closing now. It could dump, but the way that the 15-minute is closing here with no bottom wick, I mean, this one does have a bottom wick, so it's a different analysis here. It's completely different analysis here than it is here. This is the money printer setup. We don't have the money printer here. Yeah, I'm gonna leave a sell stop here if this does come back down and re-break the low. On futures, it makes more sense. Yeah. I'm following these supports here on the 1 minute because they seem to be the reason gold is pushing up instead of driving down. They seem to be important. That's why I'm deleting and activating my sell stop. It depends on the characteristic of the 1 minute candle, the way it pushes and where it taps first, and beforehand if the trade is valid. Like if we come down and re-break the low here, we're respecting this level and that's still a valid sell stop. What do you see here? This is what my target would be. Or at least where my break even would be. By the time we fill these ranges down here, I would be break even with the TP right here. But we're starting to come up and disrespect this level. After that 5 blew up. Does that have a bottom wick? No. Yeah, this is tough. I'm going to delete this. And wait. Wait for the better move. And this is where the sell stop was. You're so sus.
Yo, chat. Eddie eats a hot dog because of the shape.
Bro, I don't even eat hot dogs ever in my life. Hot dogs are nasty.
I got about 20 plus people that'll tell you fucking otherwise.
Hot dogs are nasty.
Yeah. 20 other people that'll tell you otherwise.
The closest thing to gay that I do is I went to Walmart and I bought some plants. And there were some nice ones too. I got this one, and then I got this one right here. I'm gonna put them on my dresser so that it looks in the background. You can see some plants there look nice. Yeah. I gotta get the lights so that it glows from the bottom up. Holy shit, this wick down. It almost flipped the candle and then it flipped bullish here. Wow. That's why you have a sell stop kind of steep. So the thing is that you have to anticipate a position that you know once that price breaks, that price should give you. That's why I said the closest thing. That should give you the push that you want. So if we do break the low here, that's why my sell stop was like 3 pips lower. If we do break the low, that should give me the push that I want. It should give me at least 20 pips, right? So that's why I'm perfectly fine with giving up 3 or 4 pips to ensure that I get that accurate level. Now your candles are opening 30 seconds later. It looks like volume is starting to enter the market. Yep. It's not that your candles are starting 30 seconds later. It's that the price is gapping. We're experiencing the Gaparuski. The 4 hour is beautiful to continue breaking the highs. The 30-minute is ugly. The 15-minute is ugly. The 5-minute is nice. And the 1-minute is eh. Here, price action looks a bit cleaner, but everything else looks ugly. 15-minute looks really good. 30-minute looks really good. Hourly looks really good. 5-minute looks like it's a money printer. One minute looks like it's money printer. Please? Can we please? Please? What did my brother Wix9 say in the Discord? Damn, I can't see now. My Discord has been saying that I'm new the entire time. Something weird. What did Wix post? Man, that's why it fucking slept me. Yeah, Alfredo. Too much resistance here, man. That could be a decent money printer. You rolled ugly ass points.
You thought.
Yo, that part when not to take a trade. Even though you're at the zone, you're at the level, you think you're getting that move that you want, but you're noticing certain things that are telling you, I'm gonna wait. That is key, bro, because then if not, then you're just pattern trading. And pattern trading doesn't work. Shit, man. This is confusing price action for me tonight. See what M&Q is doing. So, we had early volume in the morning. Bam, 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 bam. And this has been since tonight. It's just been driving up continually. It hit this low and decided to start rejecting. But we're still forming higher highs and higher lows following a nice trend. And now we're trickling down. If we can get below this level, support, turn it into resistance, and then drive down, that's 89 pips of range that I can take advantage of. Yeah, this is just ugly. Not super ugly, but for me here, I probably would have taken some buy stops here. That ran. Not even 10 pips. Trash. We have room up, then a sell coming, then a buy once we reach another level to continue pushing. Yeah, bro. We're gonna first sell, then we're gonna buy, then we're gonna sell, and then after that, we're gonna buy. Once we get to the level we sell, then we once we get to the other level we buy. That's how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna sell a course like that. Yeah. Once we get to this level we buy. Once we get to this level we sell. Once we get to level sell, level buy. We do have room up. We just have so much resistance. I gotta learn some institutional terms. Because you see this pretty line here? If we can stay above the pretty line, I'll have some buy stops above this little other pretty line. That's so dope how they gave me my own emote in the Discord. And it was all because Market Mechanic saw me celebrating after a win. Like literally price popped like 30 pips in a second. And I said, woo! We'll send the levels, brother. What are these? Head and shoulders. What? Left head. I don't understand. The fuck does this mean? Double top. Double nuts. Exact level rejection. Jesus. If this thing starts to flip Baruski. Let's see. Damn. But everything else is still high and bullish. It's only like these couple of minutes that are Sus. Yeah, and this is also a 4 hour resistance. Your on futures, your 2 hour resistances are gonna line up with the majority of your 4 hour resistances because our 2 hour, our 4 hour is different, so our 2 and 4 hour are gonna align. It's on XAU where the 4 hour and the 2 hour are gonna differ. So like that's why I have this level here, and we tapped the 2 hour resistance is probably the same 4 hour level. Oop. Yeah, bam, 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 bam. Very similar. 30-minute just closed, 30-minute closed. It looks like we're about to come down, maybe create a bottom wick for this 30 before flipping bullish. That's the only thing that really makes the most sense. Taking sells down would give us likely 10 pips of range, not much. I'm gonna wait and see what happens. We have so much resistance here. We're literally straight chop zone. Damn, I wanted to stay underneath here to take a sell down to here, not dump immediately like that. Maybe the way the 5 closed, I could have taken that sell stop. I didn't see that. I would have won. So look, you see how I told you guys what I wanted underneath this level? I wanted some sort of break and retest underneath this level. When would I have disregarded that and taken it anyways? When you have a 5 minute bearish closure back into the range. We don't have much of a bottom wick, but this next 5 minute candle came up, grabbed orders all the way at this resistance, and then flipped bearish again. So as it's flipping bearish, you can set your sell stop on the break of the low because it's the same thing as the break and retest. It's just did it on the 5 minute, grabbing liquidity from a higher level. So the sell stop would have been here, straight to the low, 64 pips. You see, I would have had a 50 pip take profit there, and this 1 minute candle would have dropped down 29 pips. And then depends on I would have likely went break even and closed half there, and then the next candle drop down another 60, another 30 pips. But that is the idea based off of price action. When this liquidity grab and flip bearish, why is it grabbing orders up here and then flipping bearish for again? Why is it doing that? That doesn't make any sense. Unless it's going to flip bearish and come back down and retest this level. And we tap the level almost to the T. In a meeting, but just dropping by to say hello. I appreciate you so much for dropping by to say hello. I hope you're doing well on your funded account. I hope you're well on your way to taking a payout. I don't know if you saw, but this is my progress on mine. This is my latest PA. That's in profit. The other two are in negative. So we'll disregard those. But this is my pips per day. On Nasdaq, when you see these 240s, just cut them in half. 190. So the Nasdaq counts a little bit higher than normal, profit wise. So 254 ticks would be about like 150 bucks. 170 bucks, $20 in commissions. But we doing good, man. We're keeping a good score. We're keeping a high profit factor. We're keeping a good win rate. My win-loss per trade. I technically haven't lost the trade. Trade duration, under 1 minute, 1 minute 59, 2 minutes. The majority of my trades are 1 to 5 minute long. These trades, every time that I have a super long trade, they're still winners. So just because I swing some positions doesn't mean that they're losers. But my maximum drawdown was 150 pips here. So this is the trade that I was talking about where I could have taken the L for 75 pips and then scalped the next trade for another 50 and only been down 20 pips. So that's the good thing about so that's the trade. Yeah, it's funny that I clicked on the exact trade that I was trying to look for and I just found it. But that's the trade that I was looking for to see what I could have done differently instead of going into 150 pips of drawdown. I don't like the 5 on this. The 1 minute is so ugly here. His bullish money printer was actually so clean. We're just barely making it above resistance. Stop it. Stop it, buddy. Go away. Go away. Dale. Go away, dude. Now's not the time. What the hell? What a fake out anybody that tried to take buys there. That would have been a break even though. Because we hit we hit the resistance here on that flip. How many pips was that? That gave 7 pips only? No, I don't know if I would have been break even there. These candles are so trash. So are we gonna move or not? Yeah. We're likely gonna see a steeper pullback on the Nasdaq before continuing down. What's our DXY doing? Our DXY gapped up. We have a gap to fill on the daily. We're starting to reject. Are we gonna come down? We've already retested the gap multiple times. We're probably gonna come back down to retest that gap once again, which is like 20 pips of range here, 30 pips of range, which could give us 30 pips of range bullish maybe. I don't know if it's 1-to-1, but what's this last 1 minute candle? 10 pips. This last 1 minute candle is 6 pips. Same shit. 30 pips would still give us a break of the high here and a nice 10 pipper. I'm not interested. Trash price action. Wank. Wank, 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 wank. On my board, on the top, I got slow and steady. And then on the bottom, I got slow grind to pay out. No rush. Gold is so trash that it's making me sleepy. Oh, look at that dump. That's what we do in names. That's what Can you take him out real quick? He's fucking dándome un dolor de cabeza. Speak. Alright. It's a good dog. Options. You said we had room up, bro. Why isn't this driving? Ah. The markets haven't manipulated us yet. That's why it's not driving. The inverted value gap hasn't been tapped yet. We haven't tapped the gap. Once it inverts and touches the gap, that's when the algorithm starts to kick in. Whoever knows the algorithm, come teach me, my boy. I need help. What kind of why do you want your gap filled? I want the gap in my bank account from 0 to $1 million is what I want filled. I have a gap of $1 million and I need to fill that. Yo, Wix 9 growing 40k to a milli in 4 years. That's insane. That is insane. Yo, options, where are your trend lines at? Did we break? Did we break the Trenduski? Are we finally gonna flip down and get some bottom wicks here? Six pips, you pussy. That is so trash, man. The volume just kind of disappeared, huh? No. Don't tell me this is the trend line. But then this level is so strong. How many pips would this sell stop give me before our next? We only have like 3 or 4 pips before we can literally reject a bullish there. Let's see what the what this says. Sell, buy, 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 buy. That's wild. Do any of you guys ever take that into consideration? What did you do, Alfredo? Did you do anything? Huh. So you're telling me you don't use whatever this is and compare price to what it was last year to this year? We were dumping at this time the last several years, and we are up, and we are now coming to some crosshairs where we can start to dump or continue the trend. Maybe DJ Trump is very good looking for gold, and we're gonna see a continuation of the uptrend on gold like it always does. Crazy how in 2023 gold just dumped and then made highs. Wild dump, but it just kept making new highs. 2024, the market was so, what the fuck's going on, what's going on, what's going on, and it's still on the what's going on path. Look at this beautiful pump. Yeah, I think that we're never gonna get a trade in this fucking range, dog. Oh shit, we just broke below this level. Damn, that literally went right to my next level in a minute. See, this is why I have my TPs at 50 pips, because look at how in 1 minute after this downtrend, we just dumped 50 pips, instant profit. I'm in sell, wish me luck. I'll let you know if we move in 15 minutes. Alright, so I'm gonna spam a bunch of sells. Sell, 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 sell. I'm just kidding. Options said there's more room up, and that leaves me no other option but to trust options. Yo, also, I'm on a call option on Nvidia. I don't trade stocks or anything like that, but I decided to look at the Nvidia stock, and I started noticing some stuff. And we have major support here, a lot of support here. We started plummeting down this way since sometime last week. The weekly of last week has no top wick. And we have gap down here. So likely after rejecting this major support and closing, if we can, and we already closed, I think we did close. If we can close back above this level tomorrow, that gives me better confirmation. But on the lower time frame, we have some levels here that we close back above on the daily. So we have a gap to retest here before a real continuation down. So I had a 150 call all the way up here, but if the call goes up to wicks anywhere up into this level. So my target is really somewhere up here, these wicks up here at 130. So I'll tell you right now on how much that would make me on the call. NVIDIA. So let's say within a week, right? Maybe by Monday the 9th. So let me go here. And we hit the 130 mark. No, that's way too far. It'll most likely do it within this week here. So by the 25th. I gotta put the exact date and everything. If we hit that 130 mark, I'll make 120% ROI of how much I paid for the contract. Ideally, I wanted to hit 150, right? Within a week after all this crazy news. So within this week and next week of news, that can potentially make me, bro. $1,500% on one entry. So ideally, I'm looking for 130. 150 is a long shot. 150, it would have to get there by April 9. That's when it expires. By April 9, if we hit that 150 mark, even on the last expiration day, I'm still gonna make 400% if we hit that by the final expiration date. You guys saw me set an alarm, right? It never triggered. My alarm never triggered. Where do I invest my money from trading? Back into trading. Once I start fucking pulling out more profits, I can start investing in. Anything I've ever made from trading, I spent it all on evaluations. Holy shit. Imagine if we would have had I would have had a sell stop here. Luckily, I would usually give it a few pips. It wouldn't have activated. But I invest my money in two different places. Into QQQ, this is not financial advice, and VOO. That's where I put any money that I don't have in real estate. So the majority of my money is in real estate and in my stocks, and that's it. That's all you really need. You don't need much. You don't need to have fucking a portfolio of 40 different things. That's wild. That's hard to maintain. That's annoying. You can just diversify into like 10 different sectors of stocks, ETFs, things that pay you dividends, whatever the hell you want. Some real estate. That's pretty much it, bro. Then you need like an income source. I mean, even if you're making a good living off of all your dividends, as a man, I would still like to do something. And trading is that something that you can still make money and confirm and have a good fucking time doing it. People are like, oh, this, and that, blah, blah, blah. I love trading. And if I have if I have investments coming in and I can trade with no sweat, bro, that's the best feeling in the world.
Hey Eddie, I got a quick question.
Yes, sir.
How are you, by the way?
Good, good. How are you? How's the baby?
Good. Yeah, she's doing really well. She's actually a really, really good baby. She doesn't cry unless we're changing her when she might get a cold. She might feel some cold. Otherwise, she's really, really good. I'm very surprised. So she really takes after me, so that's really good. Thank you for asking. Mom's doing well also.
Beautiful.
Expected. Yeah. Um, I got a quick question. Since the U.S. has changed the time zone, but China I just went to check. It's confirmed that they no longer use the time change in China. Now we are our 8 p.m. that we used to have Eastern, where we had movement, is now 9 p.m. So is it better to trade 9 to 11 instead of 8 to 10 Eastern Standard Time?
We're thinking about it backwards. So,
Yeah,
China. So we moved up an hour, right? So now this 9 p.m. closure is technically China's 8 p.m. closure.
Right.
So the volume that we used to get at 8 p.m. because of China is now happening for us at 9. So our times are pushed a little bit later into the session than before. Then when we go back to the time change, we go back to 8. China stays at 8, and then the 8 stays for us. So at 8 p.m., we get the volume again. So the thing now is that London does their time change in 2 weeks. So right now, London doesn't. Right now, London is still 8 p.m. for them right now, or 8 whatever time it is. So London people that trade the Asian Open, they'll be trading still 8 p.m. for them. So their time change shifts up an hour. So then it might shift the volume up an hour more. So it might be more beneficial for like that 9 till 11 session. Once because London moves up an hour, so that means they're going to be coming to the charts an hour later than us. And if we're already coming an hour late, and Asians are early, that's going to screw up the volume a little bit, I think.
So what do you think we're going to do then? Are you going to look at changing it until October?
Yeah, I'm going to pretend that time didn't change at all. So 9 o'clock, I'm going to pretend it's 8. Okay. And then 10 o'clock, I'm going to pretend that it's 9. So usually I'll probably stay like another 10, 15 minutes if something starts to break down. But like I like to trade market open because you get some decent movement market open. And I have like a gap trade that I've been attempting. Look at this. Even if I would have got activated here, the first pineapple was 111 pips in drawdown. If I would have taken a 75 pip loss, then taken a pineapple on that 5-minute pineapple on the 5-minute money printer right here, I would have taken instant 50 pips profit. So then I would have been only down 25 pips for the session. And then I would have likely looked for more sells if we do come back down and re-break the low again. And then I would have been up. So that's something that I'm testing out with my stop loss. Instead of, because my TPs are so large here, I don't have to hold 150 pips of drawdown. I can cut it at maybe 75, and then reattempt the next trade and try to catch the full 50. And that's the stuff that I like to forward test. We'll use the bathroom real quick. my boy's kid got 5th place in a powerlifting competition.
Damn.
Yeah. This is him. Look at this. He benched 240 something. The snatch and pull. That's 200 something. He weighed in at 154. 17.
How much?
154. Look at that drive.
It worked.
Damn. So gold. No, gold wouldn't have given me an entry there. But see, this is the entry that I was looking at earlier, the rebreak of this high for a target here of only 10 pips, but that's not interesting to me. Goldilocks, Goldilocks, Goldilocks. Like I said, we have room up. It wasn't supposed to drive from all the way down here, though. I needed this to form right here, and then I could have taken the buy stop there. That makes the most sense, right? For me, at least. I couldn't have taken a buy stop here. Maybe on the closure here, if I would have been looking and not in the bathroom. That was also an hourly closure. Damn, I left to the bathroom right at the hourly closure for Asian. Damn. I did not even notice that. My bad. My bad. No cap. I could have possibly had an entry here. You remember every time that 8 o'clock candle comes in that we get that no bottom wick push up or that no top wick push down? That was still valid for me. No, nothing. I'm gonna have a sell stop here on.
I just wanted to put
You just roll a little one.
No, I have a lot. Oh, fuck.
Holy shit.
Just for the tips. Yeah, like,
Nothing, bro. Holy shit, that activated me so fast. Yeah, I'm gonna go break even here. Let's see if we can get that dump. That's what I'm expecting here. I'm expecting a massive push. Keep pushing. That took me out there. I saw 20 pips on that. That took me out just to... That was a strong wick. We have resistance here a lot. And that pushes us down to here. I'm gonna reattempt it. What the hell is he crying about, bro? Yeah, this is such a strong break-even point. Damn, that activated me so fast. Okay. We hit him, but
Should hello.
sorry for switching over to the Nasdaq, my brothers.
Should
I just got my setup, you know. 5-minute no top wick. Are they so strong on the Nasdaq to give us that bottom wick on the daily? Would you guys take? Yeah, it's not looking pretty on the Nasdaq. If we do start to come back up here, I'll have to start to manually close. My next area for some pineapples could be maybe like here. That's very far away. That's like 80 pips away. Nice. We just had a scoop on the 1 minute. Not pretty. Maybe we can reject that 20 and dump. We just scooped on the 20 here. Whoa. If we do start to reverse here, then that would have to be a L. I would have to take it. That 15 still closed bearish, came up for a top wick. See if we can flip bearish and fill the next wick. Damn, that shit got me lightheaded than a motherfucker. Definitely possibility of a fake out here. Might need another steep pullback before continuation down. Thing is just gonna keep on pushing, huh? Yep, this is the only other area where it could reverse off of. And I can take a pineapple here. And that's pretty much it. That's the last one. I am in drawdown, my brother. How'd you guys do? What'd you guys make out? I see some break evens. I should have. What happened? Let's hope it hears you, Hank. Let's hope NQ hears you. I was in buys twice, but BE for both. Damn, brother. It's all good. I'll take a look at gold after this. I'm up 84 pips this session. Nice. Nice, 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 nice. This is a very strong level here. We just had a 5-minute closure. That 5-minute closed doji. The 5-minute close with no bottom wick. We're coming down first. That's not good. Hoping for a gladiator candle push down. I think we're solid here though. I think this 15 needs to flip bearish. Such beautiful trickery.
What cheeseburgers?
I ate a lot of food. I cooked food here at home and then I ate dinner before after the gym. Let's see if we can get a dump here. If we can get a dump here, that would be crazy.
That way?
Mm-hmm. Tenés que cagar la hora. Cágate, cágate, cágate. Full TP smacked. For 40 pips, 3 positions, 120 fucking pips. $120 pips. 37 times 3. 111 pips. And that's it for me for the night, my peoples. And look at that dump. Did I get a W? My brother, rewind 15 seconds. Rewind 15 seconds and watch that. I didn't close full. It hit TP within a second. My entry was right here. And TP was right here for 37 pips. And it was 3 entries, 6 contracts. You guys, and this is, I kept saying in my head I was nervous here for not closing break even this many times, but this is why I look back at my data and 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 I just look and look and look and look and look and look. The first trade still played out for 37 pips. The first entry. So because of the fact that we were still printing proper structure on the way down, I said, okay, cool. I can't take no more than about 100 pip loss on this. 100 pip loss on this would have been 30% of what I made today. So what happened is when I stacked here, I added another 30% to my risk for the day. So I was risking 60% of what I made today. And when I added this next one, I was risking 15%, the final 15%. So if I would have hit stops, I would have still been in profit for the day. So my stop loss was at 100 pips. We hit, I think, like 60 pips. No, my entry was, we hit like 60 pips drawdown, 70 pips drawdown, and then I took pineapples. But yeah, man, my trade has to play out within about 100 pips because there's no sense in holding for longer than that. What did I say? I needed a gladiator candle to just fucking dump, and it gave it to me, 122 pip gladiator candle. So after commissions, that gave me 90 pips, 111, and I gave me 90. So now I'm up 600. So let's go to the trade journal. Think that. Let's see how much this goes up by. 1K, baby. Today, 400 pip day. 400 tick day. 6 trades. When we go to the trade that I just took, this one closed at minus 4 pips. I was in 182 of drawdown on here. I was risking 220. And that was one of the entries that made 70 bucks. That's pretty fucking good, man. Since I started this PA, this has been the progress. Input stop loss to all trades. I don't use stop losses. I'm sorry. The key is to not risk so much of the account so that if price does fucking give you a gladiator candle. So look, I'm gonna tell you what. If we were right here and price decided to give a gladiator candle upwards this way, 100% I would have closed the trade and I would have taken the loss for 220 bucks. I would have taken the loss. There's no sense in holding the trade after you break that high. Let's do the math here. After getting these wicks down here and breaking this high, you have formed support here. You have the money printer setup that happened, and now you're flipping bullish. The 30-minute would have had a bottom wick, flipped bullish after closing doji like this. The hourly would have flipped bullish after a bottom wick. No bottom wick barely on this hourly, and a tiny little top wick. We could have flipped bullish for the hourly money printer setup. So we had 3 different money printer setups bullish happening here. So that's why after this break of the high here was the last final shot, right? So you go by previous levels of liquidity. So price dumped hard as fuck off this level. Price then had a minor rejection off this level. So what happened once we got to this level that I saw that we closed like this, that was a perfect indication of taking another pineapple. Price was telling me that we are starting to respect this level. So I knew that at this level, we were going to get a hard pullback. Where was that hard pullback going to be? If we were already hovering around my break-even point, then that hard pullback was most likely going to pop. So I put my take profit somewhere at this level here, where if price liquidity grabbed below here and then flipped bullish, it would have been similar to what this candle did here. So I think my TP was somewhere around this candle here. And that's how what I mimicked. I think I went by these wicks here. But yeah, man. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. 100 pips of drawdown max on one trade, which is 50 bucks. So I was risking 50 bucks every pineapple. This was another sell setup right here for the continuation down. I could have taken this setup right here, but I'm here talking to you guys, and I ran for 30 pips. TP would have been here at 50, so let's see if it smacks the yellow line here. This is another forward test of the same setup back to back. This is how I made 100 pips today, or like over 100 pips today. I took the sell setup here, gave me 50 pips, and then I took the same setup again, and it gave me another 50 pips. Honestly, I think I'm gonna call it an early stream. What day is today? Wednesday. I have another stream tomorrow. I'm dead fucking tired. This time change got my ass. So I'm gonna call it an early stream today. And I'm gonna just show up earlier tomorrow. I'm gonna show up like an hour earlier tomorrow and give you guys like a 4-hour stream. Tomorrow's gonna be good, especially with the time change. We can stay through till like 11, or maybe I'll show up like at the regular time. Yeah, look, TP smacked. I would have stayed at the regular time, come back at regular time and just stay till like 11, 11:30. Yeah, PPI tomorrow morning. So let's see what we can get tomorrow morning. And I want to wake up super early tomorrow and really plan for PPI and read up on some fundamentals, what Trump's been talking about. I've been slacking on that all day. But have a wonderful night, everybody. I'm gonna call it early. Take it easy. If anybody copied me here on the Nasdaq, bro, you guys are in a shit ton of fucking profit. That ran 187 pips from that final position. Saw me in drawdown, saw me manage risk. You saw me trust my analysis, bro. How many times did we not hit break even here? Maybe like 2 or 3 pips in profit where I could have closed the trade. But there was no setup here for me to take advantage of this push down. Yeah, man. I just hope that you guys like learn Like, this is what I've learned from Wix, from Don, watching them in drawdown, and then journaling and learning all these little extra confluences, bro. Yeah, bro. Not gonna do much talking. I'm just gonna call it here. Have a wonderful night, everybody. Peace.